parade will come through here honoring the national champion Lady Pioneers from Glenville State University. Everyone take a deep breath with me. Okay, the Mountaineers broke their losing streak and found a 14th win. May the 4th event. So Notre Dame is currently up, oh, Chewy's here. Notre Dame is currently up 3-0. The other game that we have across the complex is the Region 1 Section 1 game. When I got on the phone with Fairmont State interim head softball coach Greg Evans the other day, his response to how are you was still smiling.
RCB with the strong win over Scott last week, and Fairmont Senior with that stunner over Herbert Hoover. So tonight we have ourselves a rematch.
The 2022 Mountaineers have been debuted, and the gold-blue spring game did not disappoint. Well, the transfer portal taketh, but it also giveth back. Former Mountaineer forward Emmett Matthews Jr. is coming back to West Virginia. If you go back a handful of weeks, you might not have thought Fairmont Senior would even be here, but they've played a tough schedule this year and they've made it back. Well, if I didn't know any better, the sectional championship matchup between Philip Barber and Lincoln was electric enough to be a state title game. I'd say I have a lot to learn. I was never a basketball player, but she is. I'm here with RCB's Avery Childers, and she's going to teach me a thing or two about how to shoot a three. What kind of feeling do you get every time that you come out here, whether it's a home game or if you're at another school for an away game? Just what's the mentality when you're in the circle? When you're an athlete, you hope to be able to just focus on the game and not any of the outside noise, but sometimes life gets in the way. One young local athlete is showing us all that no matter the circumstances, you can still do it all.
It's just fun. You get to do whatever you want. Like, you get to hit people and not get yelled at unless it's illegal.
Bridgeport's Owen Glass has been playing football since he was 5 years old. Yes, he's only 10 now, but he's making waves at running back and corner. Glass participated in his 4th Diamond Sports event just a few weeks ago, a group that seeks out youth athletes to get them ready for the next level. The first 3 events were Youth All-American Bowls, but in Las Vegas, it was an invitation-only opportunity for only the country's most elite youth football players.
We just got to go down there and play football. It was more fun because, like, you got to play more than other bowls because there's less kids.
During the year, Glass plays for Bridgeport Youth Football. His family only moved to the area a few years ago, and the team has been helpful to his development. Alongside Diamond, he's got plans.
Using all the things that I learned from Diamond and Bridgeport, combine them together.
This past season, Glass ran into a new obstacle, type 1 diabetes.
His first thing that he asked the doctor was, can I still play football? So that's what he loves to do, and that's what, you know, if that's what he wants to do, that's what I want to help him do. And I'm going to learn as much as I can, you know, about type 1 diabetes. Never really thought about your kid getting diagnosed with it and how you have to change everything that you're kind of doing, prepping for games or practice or, you know, just living daily life.
I had to eat, like, better before games and practice, so I would be leveled out with my blood sugar. And at practice, every like water break, I would have to check my numbers and then just go back right into practice.
Glass is optimistic. 3 days after the initial diagnosis, he played in a game. Now it's all about him and his family becoming as knowledgeable as they can.
I want him to carry on as normal as he can, so he can, you know, live a normal life like he should be able to.
And for Owen, it's no problem. Regardless of his situation, he knows what he loves the most about football.
Juking people.
Glass will be participating in a 7-on-7 team this year while still playing for Bridgeport and proving that he is, as his initials show, the OG. When I got on the phone with Fairmont State interim head softball coach Greg Evans the other day, his response to how are you was still smiling. I met with the team yesterday, just 3 days after the Falcons won their first ever MEC title, and those smiles were still there.
I told him a month ago we were going to win this, didn't I? Okay, and I meant it.
It isn't lost on Fairmont State softball how good of a weekend they had. After all, the team won its first Mountain East Conference title in program history.
Electric, really. It was crazy. The best feeling I've ever had. This is the best team I've ever been on. The energy's crazy. The bond that we have is crazy. It still feels surreal. Like, I still feel like I'm on cloud 9. It's kind of like a Cinderella story almost.
Especially be the first to do it. There's been really good teams come through Fairmont, but this one's just the team chemistry, the atmosphere, everything it fell to place, and it was a great experience for everybody.
Getting the win was one thing, but the Falcons had to fight to get there, going 4-0 in the tournament and defeating number 1 seeded West Virginia Wesleyan twice for the trophy. Fairmont State was able to take control in the championship game, using a big 5th inning to maintain the lead, and closed out the game with a 7-4 final.
Getting a championship is unreal. Like, there's no words to describe it. I don't think all of us were going in there. We were just like, we're here, tried our best, have fun. And I've never seen our team play with so much confidence and calmness at the same time. And I'm just so happy.
The fight isn't over either. FSU is the 8th seed in the Atlantic Regional, a lower seed than the conference foe they just beat. But armed with 3 MEC All-Tournament team members, Caitlin Cassay, Peyton Weatherholt, and Emily Riggs, the latter also the tournament MVP, they know the numbers don't matter.
We're the underdogs. We were the underdogs in the MEC, and we're the underdogs again in the regional.
Nobody's playing for themselves. Everybody's playing for the team and for Coach Evans. Like, everybody puts their heart out the whole time. Once we step across those white lines, everybody's all in all the time.
But this team knows one thing is for sure. It's all about mentality, something their head coach instills in them as often as he can.
Just keep hitting. I think our bats got hot at the exact moment we needed them to get hot, and we're just grateful. Coach Evans says just about before every game to play with gratitude, and that's what we did, and that's what we're going to continue to do in the rest of the postseason for however long it lasts.
I just couldn't be prouder. I'm so proud.
Fairmont State faces Kutztown in the first round of the NCAA Atlantic Regional. That game is set for 11 a.m. on Thursday. After 40 years, 2 state championships, and countless relationships with student athletes, Grafton's Rich Board is hanging up his whistle and handing over the reins of the Bearcat football program. It wasn't an easy decision, but it was time.
It certainly is kind of bittersweet to be down here with this interview. This is where I started. And I'm not saying it's over. My time as a head coach is over, though.
After 40 years with the Grafton football program, former head coach Rich Board is stepping away. Though his head coaching days are over, the future could still hold something else on the sideline.
Some people see this as a retirement. I see this as I'm just simply resigning. I hope that one day maybe somebody will need some help.
When thinking about the end of his career as coach, Board reflects back on the beginning and how his interactions with former head coach Mike Skinner made him who he is.
I give him a lot of credit for my success. He brought to the table for me far more things than X's and O's.
Though he didn't know it at the beginning of last season, it became evident during it that 2021 would be his final year. Now that team holds a special place.
I can't be more proud of a group of young men, and I've watched them from the time that they were in Pop Warner football. I knew then they were special.
Taking the reins now is longtime assistant Mickey Foley. 21 years with the program have prepared him for this moment, one he's been hoping for a long time.
I feel honored and blessed, to be honest. The program, no matter who the coach is, who the players are, it exists. It doesn't matter. It's bigger than us. We want them to see that and play for that.
I know that first Friday night game is going to feel awful strange. Things are going to work out, not only for this football team, but for myself. I could not be prouder to be a Bearcat.